I want to start just by saying a huge thank you to everyone who gives regularly to Gateway Vineyard. Pretty much everything we do here at Gateway is only made possible by the incredible acts of generosity by people who give to the church. Giving financially as part of our discipleship and what it means to be part of Gateway Vineyard means that we are able to resource our vision as one church that meets in different locations in Beccles, the chapel and Central, as well as other projects and ministries. It's always incredible to be able to look back over the gifts that have been given, and we as a church are incredibly grateful to everyone that gives. So thank you. And let's review last year's finances together. The church's financial year runs from April through to the end of March, so all the information I'm about to share with you covers the period from April 1st, 2024 through to March 31st, 2025. You may remember last year we shared that for a while now we have been prayerfully trying to navigate the finances of the church through what has been and continues to be an incredibly challenging financial climate. The finance team and the trustees continue to work really hard behind the scenes to navigate these challenges with wisdom and faith as we have sought to be faithful with all the Lord has entrusted us with. In the previous financial year, 23 to 24, we had to draw on some of our reserves, which had been saved for exactly moments like this. And we became aware it was possible we could also end this year, ending March 25, with another deficit, which means our outgoings would exceed our income. And so we set about the challenge of streamlining our expenditure whilst at the same time praying for provision. I'm really encouraged to tell you that alongside seeking to steward our resources, making cuts and savings where we could, as well as your faithful generosity, we've experienced some wonderful provision and answers to prayer. So with that said, I want to take a look at the income and the expenditure, and then after that, I'll touch briefly on what this current financial year is looking like, albeit we're barely 2 months in. So let's take a look at the income for the year April 24 to March 25. The total amount that came in during last financial year was $467,589. 65% of that is what we call regular giving. This is made up of regular standing orders, some cash giving and one-off gifts. And as you can see, this is how most of our money comes in. If you give and you are able to give regularly through standing order, it really helps us as a church plan and budget for the coming year. Then 16% comes into the church through grants. These grants would be in this financial year things like grants received for Love Christmas, the food and energy vouchers that we've been able to give out, as well as grants awarded for some Pacific ministry areas. 11% is gift aid. Now, gift aid is what the church is able to claim back from the Inland Revenue and means that if you are a UK taxpayer and if you have done the form enabling us to claim gift aid on your giving, we are able to claim back 25 pence in every pound that is given, which makes a huge difference to us as a church. 2% comes in through the hire and letting of any of our spaces, mostly Trowse Sports Hall. And then lastly, 6% is other income, which has come in through compassion offerings, events, one-off gifts, and any interest from the bank. As I mentioned earlier, we are so thankful and encouraged by what was given financially and the money received during this period. Now, let's take a look how this money has been used. Expenditure for the financial year 24 to 25 was $414,161, meaning we did not have to dip back into our reserves, and this is great news. This is largely due to the cuts we made and an increase in regular giving and some unexpected one-off gifts which came in right at the end of the financial year. So let's break down our expenditure in each area. The figures for each area include staff time dedicated to each area, as well as the actual costs dedicated to the area, plus other costs such as finances, admin, IT and equipment, and some other services that we pay for. These are spread across each area. 24% is giving and compassion. This includes what we were able to give towards Grow Kids, Love Christmas, Hope into Action, Kids Matter, and other compassion projects. It includes gifts that support overseas missions, charities, groups, or other needs. And it includes the contribution that we give to Vineyard Churches UK and Ireland. 8% was given to raising the next generation and spent on our under 18s ministries, including Planet Kids and our youth ministry. 21% is what running the different buildings and facilities costs us. This will include the day-to-day running costs such as utilities, ongoing maintenance and improvements. 18% goes towards our gathered worshipping communities. These are our Sunday gathered spaces in each of the locations. They include things like refreshments, sound and media costs, as well as other places where we gather to worship. 21% is our midweek costs. This would include youth and children midweek gathering, student and young adult ministries, older persons ministries, pastoral support and life groups, and meetings that take place at places like the chapel, at Trouse, and in this financial period, the Place. There has been continued investment in emotional and spiritual health in courses like Freedom in Christ and the Bereavement Journey. And it also includes investment in Alpha, evangelism, community events like No Trick, It's Our Treat. And then 8% goes towards training and equipping. This would include the investment in leadership essentials and college. Now, if we just take a moment to compare side by side, this is a much better financial picture compared to last year, partly due to those last-minute one-off gifts that helped us over the line toward a much better balanced budget. Now, this is a more positive report than we were able to give last year, and it's enabled us to set a break-even budget for the 25-26 year, which we're only just a few months into, and that's great news. We are so grateful to those who give regularly, as well as those one-off gifts, and to the finance team, the trustees, and the leaders who have and who continue to pray and seek wisdom as we aim to steward all that God has entrusted us with financially to the best of our ability. But whilst this is more positive, it's also very fragile. And we walk a tightrope of continuing to cut back where we can, stewarding as wisely as we can, yet at the same time, we want to be able to grow and invest in all that God is calling us to. So we have to be cautiously optimistic as we go forwards. We could face unexpected changes, as well as some changes we know that could be coming that could impact this current financial year. The cost of living remains uncertain. That impacts all of us. We face some significant maintenance costs at the chapel. Also, we need to prepare for a new compassion base when our lease ends at Trouse. We also want to increase our investment into ministry areas like youth. What this means is we want to invite you to pray. Please pray for the leadership, the trustees, and the finance team as they continue to steward the finances of this church to the best of their ability. Pray for provision. God has been so kind to us over the years, and people have been generous in regular giving, one-off gifts, as well as we have benefited from some grants. And pray about your own journey of generosity, which is part of our discipleship and part of what it means to belong here at Gateway Vineyard. If you are yet to start giving regularly, we want to invite you to take time to pray and consider, is this the time to be financially involved in all that God is doing here? If you already give regularly to Gateway, thank you. But we would also want to invite you to pray and review your giving and ask God, is this the time when you could increase that regular giving? If you are a UK taxpayer, please let us know and fill out the gift aid form if you are happy for us to claim gift aid, which amounts to 25p in every pound given. If you make any changes to your giving, please let the finance team know by sending an email to the address that's on the screen. If you would like to read more about information about giving here at Gateway Vineyard, you can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to our website, gatewayvineyard.church, and click the giving link in the Make the Difference part of our site. If you've got any questions about giving at Gateway, speak to your site pastor or email the finance team, or we can put you in touch with any of our trustees who would be happy to speak to you. Thank you.